Hello, and welcome to this week's presentation of Reset Theatre Coalition's Reset Series. This alliance, initiated by Conch Shell Productions in collaboration with Braata Productions and Kumukahua Theatre, presents new works by American playwrights of African, Caribbean, Native American, Latin American, Central American, Asian, European, Middle Eastern, Indian, and Polynesian descent. Together, we hope to help to inspire a reset in America. My name is Carla Bryan Williams. I'm the artistic director for Braata Productions, and Braata is a Jamaican colloquial expression that means something more. And so as a Caribbean nonprofit arts organization, we endeavor to promote and create awareness around Caribbean culture, folk art, music, and in our education programming.
Let's remember the land acknowledgement. This week, we're doing something different than previous weeks.
Yes, we are.
And we are really excited how every moment is inspired by artists that join us. And so last week, Antonio Menino included a land acknowledgement that really resonated with us all. So Carl is going to start off with his land acknowledgement.
I am right now in the original land of the Muskogee and Cherokee Native American people.
And my name is Magali Kaliman Christopher. I am the founder and artistic director of Conch Shell Productions. At Conch Shell Productions, our mission is to develop, present, and produce new plays written by Caribbean American playwrights, as well as playwrights of Caribbean diaspora. Now, our mission is to create a revision of the understanding of what American theater is. And we have been doing that since 2018, and we will continue. I am Haitian American, so I have a long story. I am of the people of Haiti, and that was the original land of the Taino. I was born in Brooklyn, the traditional place where a lot of Haitians are born, and that area was the original land of the Munsi Lenape. I've learned a great deal. And I'm currently living in the land of the Matincock in Queens. Ever grateful to the original inhabitants.
I'm Sergey Burbank. I'm literary manager of Conch Shell Productions. I'm in Queens, New York, on land that was originally occupied by the Munsi Lenape and the Canarsie.
I'm Donna Blanchard. I'm the proud managing director of Kumukahua Theatre. We produce theater written by and about the people of Hawaii. I'm in the state of Hawaii, island of Oahu, land of the Kanaka Maoli, and I live in the Ahupua'a Palolo. I'm originally from the Chicago region of Indiana, the land of the Potawatomi.
Harry was giving you a thumbs up. I'm loving it. He was like, you go, girl. You got it, right?
And then I'm Harry Wong III. I'm the artistic director of Kumukahua Theatre. I was born and raised on the island of Oahu. I lived in the Avapua'a of Nu'uanu in the land of the Kanaka Maoli.
I feel good all over.
So tonight's presentation will start with a benediction as we say the names of those who have suffered a grave and systemic injustice in our country. Following the benediction, we begin the performance of new works. And the first piece you will hear is I Cannot, written and performed by Nyanda Kamuk, directed by Tisha Duncan. Fa'aliga, written by Ren Nansen, directed by Hannah and Anna Rose E. Epstein. Origami, written by Sean Chu, directed by Hannah and Anna Rose E. Epstein. She Can't Breathe, written by Alvin Eng, directed by Tanya E. Taylor. 25 Cents, written by Finesia Farrell, directed by Regina Taylor. And the last piece, Shelter in Place, written and directed by Regina Taylor. So we thank you for joining us to experience the gifts of Reset, this artistic community. And we hope at some point during the course of the event, the collective frequency of giving will touch you and you will be inspired to give to our theaters. As you remember the power of theater to create community and communication, we hope you will say yes to contributing to our mission, to giving a voice to BIPOC playwrights, directors, and performers who are collectively saying yes to a reset to the consciousness of this country. Your donations will allow each of our theaters to continue our missions to provide artists with a platform to create work and have essential roles at a time when we need artists to definitely redefine the we of our nation. Thank you from all of us. The following content may be triggering as it deals with issues centering racial injustice, police brutality, and those resulting from the COVID-19 pandemic. Following the performance, we invite you to join us for a post-show discussion, and you can send your comments and questions to the moderator via the comment section on the platform, whichever one you're using. And if there are any technical delays, just stick with us. It's a new world. And if it freezes, the screen freezes, or if the play info card lasts longer than 40 seconds during the transition, just press refresh and you'll get right back to your viewing pleasure. All right, thank you for joining us.
Philando Castile, Michael Brown Jr., Freddie Gray, Ahmaud Arbery,
Philandro Castile,
DJ Henry,
Michael Brown Jr.,
Catherine Johnston,
Freddie Gray,
Dominique
Ahmaud
Silva,
Arbery,
Lando
L'Oreal
Castillo,
St. John,
DJ Henry,
Michael
Jessica
Brown Jr.,
Williams,
Catherine Johnston,
Freddie Gray,
Dominique Silva,
Ahmaud Arbery,
L'Oreal St. John,
DJ Henry,
Jessica
Philando
Williams,
Castile,
Catherine Johnston,
Michael Brown Jr.,
Dominique Silva,
Freddie Gray,
L'Oreal St. John,
Ahmaud Arbery,
Jessica Williams,
DJ Henry, Catherine Johnston, Dominique Silva, L'Oreal St. John,
Philando
Jessica
Castile,
Williams,
Michael Brown Jr., Freddie Gray, Ahmaud Arbery, DJ Henry, Catherine Johnson, Dominique Silva, L'Oreal St. John, Jessica Williams.
Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. Sometimes I feel like a motherless child. A long ways from home. A long ways from
I couldn't. I said it, but he didn't remove his knee. By raising his knee, I would have been able to exhale, to catch my breath, to still be with you today. Instead, my death has turned this world upside down. But I wasn't the only one who couldn't. I said it too. But he didn't remove his hand. He had me in a chokehold. I had asthma. I was the only one who couldn't. They broke into my home. When the first bullet hit, I screamed as my body ached with pain. By the second, third, fourth, I stopped feeling. I couldn't. I wasn't the only one who couldn't.
Javier Ambler, Manuel Ellis, and Derek Scott repeated the same thing. I can't breathe.
It's because we can't breathe why we say Black Lives Matter. It's because we can't walk the streets without being hassled, oppressed, stripped of our human rights. Black Lives Matter is us not being able to breathe. We can't until you remove your knee. We can't until you remove the chains. We cannot until systemic injustices have been demolished. We can't until you see us as human. Black lives matter, but you say all lives matter. We know. Yes, we know. But saying Black Lives Matter is a statement that our lives should be acknowledged. Black, that is who we are. Will you allow us to? Why is it today we're still asking? Why is it today we are still chanting? Why is it today we still cannot breathe? Through tears, we can't breathe. I couldn't. Mama. Mama.
Sometimes I feel like a motherless child, a long ways from home.
Hey, Mom.
Hi, my honey. Oh, oi. What's with the face?
Mom, I can't see you.
Yes.
What? Fix your camera, Mom. Check
Does it connect to the back?
Yes, hi, I can see you. Yes, hi.
Oh, you look healthy. A bit too big. Maybe lay off the pisupo, huh?
Mom.
Okay. So how was work?
Hectic, but I got through it.
Don't overwork.
I know, Mom.
Ofiatui, I want to say hi.
He's, where's Dad, huh? How are you guys?
He's working overtime.
He needs to be careful.
Hey, they were down on people calling out sick because of the virus. But they're getting by. I miss you both so much. Where's Tui? He's usually...
Can't he collect unemployment?
That's not how it works, Lilo. And you haven't answered me. Where is Tui?
Mom, I need...
You're scaring me. Out with it.
He was stopped by the police on his way back to get his wallet.
What did he do this time? I swear that brother of yours would be dead if he wasn't.
Mom, please. He was at the hospital 3 hours ago.
Oh my God, why didn't you tell me sooner?
Mom, you're not listening.
Hello?
Mom.
Hon, where are you?
Sit down.
Come home right now and pick me up.
He's...
What do you mean right now? Tui is in the hospital. What?
Mom.
I don't know. Was in the name?
He's on the ice. There's nothing you can do, Mom, unless you want to ID him. He died, Mom. Yeah, you got your wish. All his life, he was the troubled kid that no one wanted to pay attention to. Mom, he never had a chance to prove himself. Even the fucking cops saw to that.
What? I don't understand.
Mom, he was arrested because he looked like a black guy that was in a robbery an hour earlier. The cop was on him for 5 minutes and didn't let up until he stopped kicking.
What did he say?
Who?
Tui.
I can't breathe. Mom. Mom. Mom, please calm down. Dad, where are you? How far? Mom's going crazy. Mom, please calm down, okay? Please. Dad, you need to hurry, please. Mom, okay. Mom, I'm going to call 911. Dad, hurry. Mom. Mom.
Yeah, I've been trying to read James Baldwin. I've been trying to become a better human, whatever that means. Trying to learn about other people's experiences, especially the experience of Black lives. It's something I never really considered. I'm in the middle of nowhere, backwoods Hawaii, and which is already middle of the ocean nowhere. Hawaii isn't nowhere. It's just isolated. You know what I mean? Shit. These things are as calming as they are stressful. I've been trying to find another activity for stress relief, but honestly, I'm too lazy to research. It's the same with everything else going on now. You know what I mean? Yeah. Uncle Jay lives with us now. Ever since the liver transplant. Mom sometimes ropes me into being an assistant caretaker. It's awful. He's awful. Sometimes. I mentioned to him and Mom the other day your idea of changing McKinley High School's name to Honolulu High. He got really upset. It's Honolulu Tigers, not McKinley Tigers, he said. The indignation he showed, it was as if someone just called him a Jap. We have certain traditions, you know. Yeah, he said, looking to my mother for support. And Mom always backs him up. She just nods her head and hopes he just shuts up. She doesn't want to deal with his ignorance, but we've all been ignorant, one way or another. McKinley isn't a imperialist white man who with little to no connection to Hawaii. And to Uncle Jay, McKinley means football, best friends, nostalgia, packaged like dried mangoes, crack seed, comfort food memories. I've been ignorant. We have it good here. Every time we talk, and you tell me about, sorry, where are you again? Indiana, Illinois. I'm sorry, the eyes confuse me. Every time you tell me how people treat you there, it baffles me. We have it so good here. And no, I'm not trying to convince you to move back home. I know Mom talks your ears off on that topic, so I'll spare you a lecture from me. I guess I just realized I've been lazy and complacent, and I have it really good here. People who look like us. People who have same last names as us. I almost gave Uncle Jay a heart attack, the other day. I questioned him whether people would vote for Colleen Hanabusa if her name was Chukis or Vietnamese and not Hanabusa. Of course, he said. She's done so much for those people on the west side. He said it with such disdain. Those people. Yeah, I know Uncle Jay isn't evil or a bigot or alone in his condescension. Because I feel it too, Connie. Yes, I'm not Uncle Jay level hateful, but like those people, when he said those people, I felt a resonance, shared feeling of superiority with him. And for a brief moment, we weren't at each other's throats over Saturday morning breakfast. We were even smiling in a sick way. Those people means the impoverished, the lazy, uneducated, irrelevant people in Wainai, Makaha, Maili, Nanakuli. And I hated myself so much for thinking that. I hated it so much. Because that feeling, that stupid, hateful reaction, that is the source, the spark, the source of the hellfire of racism. Stupid, fleeting reactions like that, piled up enough, leads to destruction. Imperfect. Stupid.
Let's take 8 breaths together. Move with me if you'd like. Seated or standing up, lying down, but never out. Breathing together is being together. Chi is life. Feel it. Chi is breath. Feel it. Chi is eternal. Feel it. Chi is free only if we fight for it. Feel it. Breathe with me. Some see Chi as eternity, visualized and symbolized as a horizontal figure 8. The Chinese see 8 as lucky. The Chinese see 4 as death.
Every 8 contains 2 4s. The even number between 4 and 8 is 6. Eight, 4, 6. Breathe with me. Sometimes the stars don't align. Most times, numbers don't align. We are living in one of those times. 8, 4, 6 destroyed us. Now 8, 4, 6 inspires us. In 8 minutes and 46 seconds, a cop's knee took the chi straight out of George Floyd's neck. But a teenage girl changed the world with her video testament. The testament willed George Floyd's chi to become our living legacy. Use his breath to change. Feel the chi. Use his breath to pray. Feel the chi. Use his breath to incant. Feel the chi. Use his breath to rant. Feel the chi. Use his breath to scream. Feel the chi. Use his breath to dream. Feel the chi. Use his breath to achieve the dream. Use his breath. Feel the chi. Breathe with me. George Floyd had a dream. Martin Luther King Jr. had a dream. A dream of justice. A dream of liberty. Liberty from oppression. Liberty from suppression. Liberty from bigotry. Liberty from poverty. Breathe with me. Nelson Mandela said, overcoming poverty is not a task of charity. It is an act of justice. Emma Lazarus said, until we are all free, we are none of us free. Until we achieve true justice, we can't breathe. We can't breathe. She can't breathe. Feel it. Feel it. Feel it. Fight for chi. Fight for chi. Fight for chi. Fight for chi.
So I found a quarter today. I don't know why, but I did. I was standing outside handling some matters. Gotta fill my mind, stomach, and veins. The bills don't pay themselves.
You found a quarter. You don't say.
Well, that quarter, sir, is mine. It's all mine.
Does it have your name on it? Because it sure don't have your face on it.
How could it? I was tied up trying to fix myself.
You were tied up in other matters. I understand.
Do you? Really?
Niggers always running around chasing chickens, trying to fill the void before supper, sweating like a dog. Bite the head of the chicken off, let the blood drip all the way down to your balls. By the time you're full, you're hungry again. Then you got to go back to the master and get the tools to chase chickens again.
Now, if Master gave me some land, I'd grow my own chickens. 1 chick is all I need. My wife and 3 babies I'd feed.
Master's got people to feed too.
Himself. Hisself and hisself.
And me. And myself. And I.
When I saw the quarter, I wanted to scream. Like shit. I ain't never had not 1 cent to myself. And with this fucking quarter, I could go to Silicon Valley, hop into a time machine, go back in time and buy myself. In fact, I could go back and buy my ancestors. I could go back and buy the entire plantation. I could go back and buy 10 acres in Florida and build a castle. It's been done before.
Not by someone like you. They wouldn't take the quarter. Anyone with eyes would know that a nigger can't have a quarter. They'd lock you away. That's what they do.
You're scared. I've got that runaway blood that I'll leave you to be alone. Say, how much do I owe you?
Right now? About 25 cents. But in 10 days, you'll owe me a leg. In a month, your arms. And in 1 year, I want your entire body day in and day out. I can't let you up right now. I need you feeding me. I've got to be full. But I'm sure one day you'll be free. You understand?
So, what if I gave you my arm right now?
Then I guess you'd be free.
So the name of this tune is called Shelter in Place, stay inside where you might be safe. They say, keep still, don't move so you won't be ill. The COVID spread messing with free will. How many days and nights say there's no cure because once the COVID bites, it eats you up from the inside. Shelter in place, stay inside where you might be safe. So inside these walls, no more persecution for the color of my skin. No more hatred, no more racism, no more ducking, no more dodging, no more running from being a woman touched by angry men. There is a disease, a pandemic. It's been around since the beginning, passed from blood through bloodline, time after time, eroding memories and infecting minds. We're all on the brink of being extinct, but what are the odds of my extinction when systemic racism is a function of power lines, the flow of money, time after time? Inside this building is the smell of white supremacy, the foundation of my country, 'tis of thee, where I live in. My body is a moving target. I knew my last breath since first intake. And I knew my last breath and when my mama's heart would break. Shelter in place, stay in your place, but I don't feel safe. Got worry lines etched across my face. Where can I find a way to escape? What are the odds inside this skin of making it until tomorrow? What, am I dreaming? Tomorrow, I might be dead from a disease within other people's heads, causing them to put a bullet through my brain. A racist screed will make you go insane. Got me searching for the exit, running and hollering down the street where people carrying picket signs say, won't be water, but fire next time. Tear it down. Tear it down. Tear all the buildings down and burn them down. Burn the motherfuckers down to the motherfucking underground. And then I'll rise. Flying high in the sky. Rising like clouds. Clouds of smoke. With my wings stretched. Is this what it feels like to be free? Because I don't know what it's like to be free. But one day I'll know to be free, and then I'll sing a song of love for you and for me.
So welcome back.
Hi.
Thank you for staying with us for another Reset Talk Back with all of our artists, including our awesome technical team of Kira Bowie, Faith Cawthon, Santos Collado, headed by the incredible Veronica Vera. I'm Sergey Burbank. I'm literary manager for Conch Shell Productions, and we want to take this time to let you know that if you loved what you saw here, and we hope you did, because we did, and you want to see more of this kind of work, please donate. Donate to Conch Shell Productions, donate to Kuma Kuhua Theater, donate to Braata Productions, and no number is too small. And in the same mindset of quality over quantity, we're going to do a brisk talk back. So we welcome your comments and questions on Facebook and YouTube. Our team will get them into the discussion as we get them. And so really it's a two-parter. And the first is part of the magic of doing theater over Zoom is its ability to bring together artists from all over the world to collaborate in real time. So I'm going to go around and I'm going to go by the grid order that I see, which might not be on the broadcast. And so I'm going to give you or your character name a shout out. So introduce yourself, correct my pronunciation, and tell us where you're joining us from. And so who I see first is Katie Croyle. So if you can unmute and tell us where you're joining from.
Hi, everyone. I'm Katie Croyle, she, her, hers. I currently am in Massachusetts, in rural Massachusetts, in the occupied Wampanoag land. And I'm in the woods. So my internet's a little spotty, but.
Great. So thank you. So, and Dwight Sora.
Mm-hmm. Hi, I'm Dwight Sora. I'm he, him, his, and I'm here in Chicago, up on the north side here.
Fantastic. Tanya Taylor.
Hi, Tanya Taylor. I am here in New York City.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Antonio Artist.
Yeah. Hi, my name is Antonio Artis, and I am joining from Queens, New York City.
Oh, fantastic neighbor. Aisha.
No, her name is Marquita.
Marquita is my name is Marquita Wilder. Originally from Chicago, whoop, whoop, but I am here in Los Angeles, coming to you from Los Angeles.
Fantastic. Anna Rose E. Epstein.
You're muted, Anna.
Hey everyone. I am originally from Houston, Texas, but I've been living in Chicago for 15 years, 60, I don't even remember. Uptown, woo!
Getting the country together. Tisha Duncan.
Hi everyone, I'm Tisha Duncan and I'm here in Brooklyn.
Oh, fantastic. So forgive my butchering that's about to happen. Fa'aliga.
Actually, it's Buffy.
Aloha kako. My name is Lalea Ekahalipunawang, or people call me Buffy. I am from Kaimuki, Oahu. And yeah, that's it.
Fantastic. Regina Taylor.
Hi, I'm Regina Taylor. I'm in Dallas, Texas. That's my hometown.
Oh, connections. Phoenicia.
Hi, my name is Fanacia Farrell, and I'm here in Homestead, which is a part of Miami-Dade County, and it is originally the land of the Seminole people.
Well, thank you. Lilo.
Hi, I'm Bobby Wilhelmsen. I'm from Chicago, Rogers Park checking in.
Ooh. Chicago.
Rogers Park.
I used to live in Rogers Park. That's crazy.
Yeah.
Me too.
David Glover, please.
Hi, y'all. My name is David Glover. I am currently in Brooklyn, formerly the Muncie Lenape land.
My birthplace, David. You're in my birthplace.
Mm-hmm.
Alvin Eng.
Hello, here from New York City, Manhattan, Lower Manhattan, Lenape, Turtle Bay.
Hannah E. Epstein.
Aloha, I'm Hannah E. Epstein in Uptown Chicago.
Fantastic. Ren Berlin.
Sorry. Hi, my name is Ren. I'm from Oahu, Waianae.
Fantastic. Nyanda.
Hi, my name is Nyanda. I'm in Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, outstanding. So before I jump to my questions, I want to jump to audience questions. So we have one question from the audience on YouTube. Julene asks, what is it like for actors to be embodying these works during this time in the heart of the matter? So performers, whoever wants to chime in on that. What's it like to be embodying these works in this time?
Liberating. It's, well, first off, thank you, Ms. Regina, for writing these words that was easy and hard at the same time. So easy because it's so relevant. And I've not had a moment to really pause and really reflect. I've just been absorbing through media, through protests that I've been doing and things like that. So to actually have this outlet to play Aisha and for her to speak the truth, to really, it's my truth, you know, shelter in place, you know, there's two pandemics, we're co-pandemicing right now, where there is the coronavirus where they tell you to stay in your house, but at the same time, as a Black woman, you can also be laying in your bed, sleep, and you're not safe in your own space. So to really be able to explore that, it was liberating, therapeutic, much needed, but tough. But I'm grateful that I got this opportunity.
For me, it was scary because you know, like also what she said too, liberating and everything like that. But also in my perspective, it just felt like, you know, if there was a time to like hide from these issues, that this isn't the time to do that, and we're giving a voice to this, like a call to action into the situation, and that forces us to face those issues head on. And for that, it is a scary thing because you also have to take care of yourself while you're exploring those things. So I think it was scary too. Yeah.
It was taxing emotionally for me, and everything else that Antonio and Marquita said. Yes, it was also very therapeutic, but to be going through it, doing the piece while everything is going on right now, definitely did an emotional number.
Because the difference, one thing that I noticed is really quickly, is when you're playing other characters, like you can play a period piece, but you don't really know. You have to channel that environment from like dramaturgical work and everything. But like when you're actually talking about relevancy where you can look outside of your window and you are living in that war zone, that's different. You know, you can play August Wilson, but that's not now, you know, you know what I mean? But to really just look outside of your window and say, no, this is the world that I'm in. I don't have to search that hard to draw from it. It was like very emotionally taxing, but I feel right now like I just got a lot off. So
with that in mind, have you all incorporated practices of self-care into your journey as an actor? I hope, and if you haven't, let's explore the practice that we tried last week, the snapping of the fingers near your ears to disconnect your spirit and your mind from the world that you were in. Sharply snapping it near your ears. And releasing it. That's a very important matter in the world that we're in. As performers, we're doing our duty. As writers, we're doing our duties to our community and inspiring change with the art form, but we've got to take care of ourselves. We've got to find our breath as we lose our breath. and we have a huge responsibility. We're extremely essential, and I just want you all to take care of yourself, because this was a journey and a half today. A journey and a half that you went on. And thank you for sharing, Nyanda. Thank you for sharing. Who else shared? Antonio and Marquita. But just know you can reach back to us and we'll help you. If you want some exercises, Donna and we have great things to share with you, because you're not alone. We didn't bring you into this to leave you alone. Okay? Okay, let's move forward if you want.
So, and I'll put the focus on the directors for a minute. We have another great question. So the assumption is, and I believe it's a correct assumption, that all the directing was done virtually. So if so, directors, how was the process, considering the subject and the context that we're living in? How did you as directors help form this work?
I think for me,
sorry, go ahead.
Hey, Regina.
It was really, I actually really wanted Dwight to say something, because we had a lot of conversation about his piece, and how he felt very, well, I'll let you speak, Dwight.
Okay. Well, for me, this is the interesting thing about this is that, like, I'm here in Chicago, but my family has roots in Hawaii. My father's originally from Elieli in Kauai, and I have some relatives there, and working on this with Anna, it was interesting because it kind of brought up sort of, it was weird. It was like a strange reverse, because the character I was playing, the man, is going through what I wish some relatives and friends in Hawaii were going through, because they don't understand. It's they're not unsympathetic, but there's definitely, they look at the news and they definitely have a very different take on it, because some of them, I think, have literally never met an African American in their life, and may never, who knows, and so they don't understand, and it was interesting trying to see it from their perspective, because it's hard, because I can't in a lot of ways, because I'm here in the middle of it.
Yeah, we also didn't do the pieces very much. We talked through a lot of it, a lot of going through each line, talking about subtext. But I tend to over rehearse, and my partner, Hannah, was like, yeah, let's not do that. It was a good idea, especially with the weight of it all.
Yeah, when you're working with really great new work, it's not difficult to direct online at all. It's pretty easy when you have good actors who are instinctually able to play with cameras in a way that kind of feels more now, because everything is right now. And with everybody doing Zoom meetings and all of this, we kind of fell really easily into being able to showcase these works tonight.
Yeah, I was a little nervous because I'm a very physical director, and I like to physically do it sometimes myself, but I would show them how I was thinking. I wanted to see them visually. So I was able to do that. And I think Bobby and Buffy did that. How'd that feel for y'all? Throwing it back to them.
I think another beautiful thing with directing virtually is you really get to use the physical that you see. So I know for our pieces, we were able to put things in there that weren't in the script that we also wanted to comment on. So a lot of those metaphors we created physically. There's a section where Nyanda was going around a circle with her hand facing the ceiling. That was like our way of saying we've hit the glass ceiling. We're going around a circle racially. And Nyanda also created that as an actor to mean, put your hands up. So we were able to talk to each other using different forms of how we interplay physically, especially considering that we don't have all these angles. So we have to use those angles physically and create different kind of counter narratives, and at some point narratives that went into it, whether it was music or just how we created the light design. And all that happens because we're able to plug into each other virtually. I can't see her, she sees me, but the same idea of self-care, there's a collective care in terms of we're talking about something that is pivotal. It is a dynamic time. We have something that is precious cargo. So the work is precious. And so we were very intentional in every single thing that we did visually. And because we're working from a space where Nyanda wrote it, she could also talk about other things that she probably didn't put in writing. And I can talk about things that I didn't do because I didn't write, and see how else we can get that conversation in there. So that was a good thing virtually that happened for us.
Well, I come from I come from television and film, so this was a little different for me. But you know, thank you, Carl, thank you, Alvin, thank you, Antonia, for allowing me to flex my muscles this way. I kind of use the screen as if the Zoom screen, directing over Zoom, as if I were directing by remote, which I've had to do, or I was using my AD. So you get very descriptive with, you know, where you want the person to move versus just walking over to them and, you know, whispering in their ear and having that moment. It's also being able to describe a moment and a feeling and an emotion a little bit more than if you were there physically. I will say, you know, this was a great experience, and it was absolutely awesome. I was very honored to work with everybody and see everybody's projects come to life. They were very emotional and a very heavy time. Carl knows me very well, so he knows that work is what I use to kind of get through that. And so for me, this was that kind of release. And Alvin's piece is about being able to control that anger that we all feel at what we're going through, and being able to find the Zen in the moment and channel negative into a positive. So for me, it was, you know, a double win, as it were, but I thoroughly enjoyed it.
Regina, I think you had a thought.
Yes, I enjoyed it very much. All of my actors, and I directed 25 Cents and my piece Shelter in Place. And all the actors were in different places, different states.
Wow.
But we're all in the same state, aren't we? We're all on the same plane. And so it wasn't hard for us to have these conversations with Vanessia's beautiful piece, very thick, complex, rich, deeply layered. It is about the relationships and clarifying the relationships. So we started just talking about the piece and breaking down who they were to each other, who they were to themselves, and who they were to each other. And there's a fine line in terms of time. We're in the present moment, but we could be further back or in the future with this piece. But it is about these relationships and the history of these relationships that are in between the lines. So it's really important for us to just get in there and deconstruct and talk about who these characters are, how they act on each other. So it was really about that with this piece, and where we are right now, societally, racially, in terms of gender. All of that was in the mix with this piece, and I love working with great material and actors who are so smart and passionate about where they're coming from. It was wonderful to watch them work together. With Marquita, knowing that she's from Chicago, and we had worked together before. So after I'd written this piece, Shelter in Place, I was thinking, oh, wow, this is a Marquita piece. Let me give her a call and see if she's available to embody this woman that she understands viscerally. And I was excited to see how she would tackle it, what her approach would be, what her spirit would do to illuminate this character. So it was a joy.
Excellent. And actually, that is a wonderful segue to another submitted question from Harry via YouTube. And this is especially for performers tonight who had movement in your pieces. The question is, how did you go about working through that over Zoom?
Well, with my piece, how it's written, it's super complex because the movements are a part of the words and the words are a part of the movement. Like there's no separating them. It has to be together. And for me, that was the hardest thing to do over Zoom because, or not actually over Zoom, but just during this pandemic, because originally the movements that were put in there were Tai Chi, and I've never done Tai Chi before. I've never taken a class or anything like that. So I can't even be like, oh, I never did Tai Chi. So I could take a Tai Chi class and learn how to do that. Can't even do that because it wasn't open. So it wasn't an option. But Tanya sent me some many great videos to watch, Tai Chi for beginners. And also
thanks to Alvin. Alvin sent me those.
Oh, Alvin too. And those videos helped me. It was a good replacement for not being able to do it, being able to go to a class. Yeah, but it did make it harder. Yeah, and we also incorporated yoga. So that was another element that we put in there.
Well, he's actually being modest. So in terms of movements and Zoom, the problem we had, what had happened was, so we've been rehearsing for weeks outside because when I saw this piece, when Alvin and I talked about it, I saw Tai Chi movements. So, the elongated arms, very deliberate, everything going out. And so we rehearsed that. We got the moves down pat. It was perfect. And then I woke up on Wednesday morning and I looked at my weather app and it said it was going to rain on Wednesday night and it was going to rain tonight. And I was like, oh yeah, this is what happens in production. You don't plan things outdoors without a tent. So contingency, we have to figure this out. And Antonio was great on Wednesday. We literally sat down on Wednesday. I sent him yoga videos and meditation videos. We talked through it. And between Wednesday and today, it became this fusion and hybrid of yoga meets meditation meets Tai Chi movement meets Antonio's feelings and what he brought to the table. And that is what we saw tonight. I mean, and you guys saw my screaming and my high five at the end of it. I was just like, yeah, so it's literally, we pivoted, which is what our entire last 4 or 5 months have been about. It's pivoting and changing, and and we pivoted in like 2 short days. I mean, amazing act though.
And what really helped with that was because I was freaking out once Tanya texted me and said it's gonna rain, and I was like, oh no, it's gonna rain and the show's in 2 days. So what helped with that, because I was going through some self-doubt and things like that because of the change. But my mentor Jermaine Rowe had called me, and it almost by coincidence, and told me theater is adapting and to embody the feeling that it is outside and the feelings I was feeling in the movement, and all I'm doing it is in a more confined space. Those feelings and the movements are still there, but adapt to the new space, and that really helped me.
Got it. Nyanda, I know you were another movement heavy piece. What was your process?
For us, it was a lot of talking through to make sure that each move was connecting to something in the script, figuring out why we're putting it in, and just really going it over and over and over and over again. Tisha wanted to be very deliberate with movements, and I mean, in terms of like the lights for Antonio, you said something happened 2 days before. We added the lights like maybe literally I think 2 days ago. So that was another element. But just being open to the process and being open together and trusting Tisha with a wonderful vision. So it was just really just being open, making sure that we know what the movements are for, and just going it over and over again.
A lot of the movements were also symbolism. Like, for example, we used costume pieces. When Nida came in with a hoodie to represent Trayvon, there were sections where she would move her body in very specific ways, either into the camera, out of the camera, on different angles, angling the camera. So it wasn't just within the story itself. We tried to make sure that the staging helped the actor as well, Nida, through different transitional points. So whether it was the use of the breath and how the breath would then transition to this part emotionally, and then how this would connect to that one. So the movements were split. There was the aesthetic part of it that was very symbolic to specific things connected to the script. And there were other parts that were more about how can the actor use this to jump from one moment to the next, to the next, to the next. And then the other part of how do we comment in subtle ways based on the climate connected to the script.
And speaking of commentary, we have another submitted question, and this is for Phanazia, for your piece. What was the symbolism in portraying the drinking of water and spitting it out into the scarf?
Actually, it's spitting it out and the symbolism of the red scarf. I typed it wrong. Let me just read the question. Okay, I was typing quickly. Let me go. It's from Reina, and her question is, what is the symbolism you were trying to portray via the drinking of the water, spitting it out, and the red scarf? Three elements of symbolism that were incorporated.
So the only thing I can take credit for is the spitting, because the rest is actually a wonderful, it's a great example of how directors can really color and create, within a piece that's written, because, directors are really cool. So that's more of a Regina question. But I will say the spitting was very literal. It was like, I just saw the debt collector coming and spitting on this man. And take that as you will. You can interpret that as daily microaggressions, but just the level of dehumanizing that is ingrained in our culture, in terms of the mix of race and class, and how we treat people of specifically Black people, poor Black people. Yeah.
Regina, the question is for you then.
In the script, I took cues from the writer. Yes, it is the degradation, and I did ask her about why the debt collector was spitting on him. The degradation. It was also written that the liquid the debt collector's drinking is red tea, I believe you said. So it is and you were very specific that you wanted the debt collector to be a woman. So with that, spitting this red liquid onto this man, like blood, something passed on like blood, that he then uses that handkerchief to wipe his face, that red blood. That he then uses as he cut off his arm was the connection for me.
Right, I hope that answers our submitted question.
Want to do popcorn?
Well, our audience
Are we going to do
popcorn?
Are we going to do popcorn? Okay, we're going to do popcorn.
Right.
Popcorn.
We're gonna do popcorn.
You tell them about popcorn. That's a Carl thing. Carl,
no, you tell them about popcorn.
Okay, popcorn.
Carl, tell them about
we're going to
popcorn.
go around and you're going to say one or two words that come to your mind after this experience. That's popcorn, right? Did I get it right, Carl? It was your idea. Okay. He's just thumbing me. Okay, everybody take your mics on so that we can play popcorn. I'm just going to go rapid, but I don't know who goes first. Are we Are we the way I see it? No, we're all different. So
I haven't heard some voices, so I'd love to hear from some of the voices.
the people that we haven't heard. Popcorn.
Yes, I'd really love to hear your thoughts. What's resting on your heart and mind right now about this project.
And then we have a question after popcorn. So, boom, go. You go, Carl, because I haven't heard you. Let's do it. Popcorn.
Yeah, I got a sentence of I haven't heard David's voice in a while. Sorry, I'm going to call you out. And Alvin.
I talk a lot, so I decided to listen more on this. Words that come to mind: truth-telling, history, salvation, redemption.
Next. Carl, call it, Carl. Call it.
All right, Alvin and then Buffy.
Just, honored and grateful to have this space to explore these things that are weighing so heavily on all of us right now. It's just, I'm just grateful and honored for everyone. Thank you, Carl, and thank you, Tanya, Antonio, and everyone. And just to be honored to be a part of this this amazing theatrical conversation. And I like to think that we're trying to reach beyond the screen and pull people in.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Harry. Popcorn.
Popcorn. Release. I believe that everybody's in a place in which they need a certain thing. So some people need to purge, some of the things that have been bothering them. Some of them need to purify their souls, I'm talking about audience member. And then some of them need to create, and then that's the ritual foundation of theater. Yeah, is purging and purifying and then creating again. So it's those words, I think, for me.
Yes. Who's gonna call on next? Go, Carl.
Well,
go, Carl.
we have another question in the chat, but I want to hear from Buffy and Ren.
Yes.
And Bobby.
Writers first.
Oh, okay, I guess I'll go that shoe. Overwhelmed, educational.
Beautiful, yeah.
There are no wrong answers.
None.
Buffy.
Insightful. Learning to listen. And grateful. And I think blessed. Very blessed to be a part of this.
Thank you.
Yeah, for me, it's the two words that come to mind the most are love and the word raw. Like just all the rawness that I saw throughout the process in these stories are really amazing. And it was just really cool to be a part of that.
Donna.
The way you say that.
You're trying to be quiet. You're like, I'm not gonna move. She's not gonna know.
I during all of these Tuck stories after the shows, I have purposefully been quiet because I just want to be able to listen. And I'm devastated. I'm so very honored to be able to be a part of this project, to be able to support all of you. And you don't need to see white lady tears, so it's important. And I'm grateful to be here.
I think well, Sergey, there's a question I think you should read out. Thank you very much, Donna.
Yeah.
Thank you,
Thank you, Donna. All right, so yeah, and Buffy, this is going to go back to you. So the question is Samoan your first language? And if not, how did you find learning your lines in Samoan? This is a multi-part question. Gear up. Was there discussion about adding more Samoan language and also being Samoan? And this is the submitter, it's not me. This is not my we. Being Samoan, we are blessed with beautiful brown skin and hair and are often mistaken for Black. So if you could offer some words on that.
Sure.
It's a lot.
Boy, okay. Here it goes. No, Samoan is not my first language. Actually, Hawaiian is my first language. I am multi-ethnic. I am a as we call here, a mixed plate or a mutt. So, but I'm mostly of Polynesian ancestry. However, yes, I wouldn't have mind more Samoan. That would have been cool. I but I would like to do more shows with that language. And it's not difficult because I speak Olelo Hawaii, I speak Hawaiian, so Samoan is not far off from it, so it's easier for me to pick it up. And yes, I totally agree that we, as brown people, we get mistaken a lot for being Black. I was fortunate enough to go to Chicago 2 years ago to work with Hannah and Anna and Bobby to do a production of Hannah's play up in Chicago. And it was my first time experiencing, a whole different culture outside of mine as an adult. So it was interesting to learn from others and trying to absorb everything that I learned. But it was also the first time I ever experienced racism. I was out with a friend one evening, and some things were said to me by a white person, and I was so shocked. I didn't know how to respond, and because this woman thought I was Black. And here in Hawaii, we're such a diverse group of people, and our history is, complicated, but we embrace everybody here in Hawaii. So what we experience here in Hawaii is very different than what the U.S. experiences, the continent experiences. So having been involved in this and listening to all of your stories, it's really giving me, as a person of color from a completely different culture, new perspective. And I understand. I could never ever comprehend what it's like to be in your shoes, but I've gotten the idea. I've gotten it just a little bit. So it's my job as an actor to listen to what you guys have to say. So yeah, that's my piece, and I'm done.
Thank you. Thanks for sharing that. Thank you very much, and thank you for the question from our audience.
It's so nice we have this time together. Remember Tabernacle?
Wait, I haven't heard from Santos this entire time.
Where's Santos?
Yeah, we got to
He's
show.
right
We got to
there.
show up our
In the
faces.
shadows. It's like
Here.
shadows. Santos in the shadows.
I'm monitoring our YouTube page right now for questions.
And you're doing a great job.
Um,
What are your words?
thank
What's
you.
your popcorn, baby? What's your popcorn?
My popcorn. Okay. I was just thinking of therapy, and therapeutic process of just being able to come to art for release. So a lot of us were chiming on that earlier, so I concur. Other stage managers in here, please.
Yeah. Hello.
We have anyone who hasn't popcorned? Oh yeah.
For me,
Veronica.
All around. I am listening and learning and taking in all these stories, and then for me, all of the tech side has been really a learning curve and something I'm enjoying being a part of. So another thing for me to be grateful for.
We have one more question, Sergey.
So what was the intention in having, this is for Finazzi again. What was the intention in having the debt collector be a woman? Your script is so rich, people are just, they need to dive in.
Oh, I really appreciate that question, Raina. This is hard for me to answer. I just want to start with that. but that means it's a good question. And I think that for me, so who sent the first ships into the New World? It was Queen Isabella of Spain, right? But so often in our rhetoric of discussing white supremacy, we completely hold the vision of white supremacy as a man. And of course, patriarchy is ingrained in white supremacy, and I as a woman cannot deny that. As a Black woman, I can't deny that. But my whole life, my specific experience, I'm from a town, Miami's not really considered the South, but we are very Southern in a lot of ways, especially in our history, especially where I'm from, because we're a farm community. And I found growing up that, yes, you know, white supremacy was inflicted by white people, but something I thought that was really interesting is that dynamic between white women and Black people, specifically white women and Black men, and obviously white women and Black women. And that's a whole other conversation. That has to be unpacked in other plays. But I think that especially since the revolution of, or not the revolution, the co-opting of feminism by capitalism to encourage women to see work as freedom from patriarchy, I've seen that like white women have weaponized their role in positions of power and in their complicit role within capitalism as an oppressive force towards people of color. And I wanted to kind of explore that, making the debt collector woman. I like to sort of I like to mix it up. I like to break it. I don't like to sort of, I think in our minds, we see white supremacy as a white man, but we have to remember white supremacy looks like a lot of different things. And it can look like in a queer community, certain people being uplifted over others. It can look like within the Black community, colorism. It can look like so many different things. And I think all of those stories need to be told. And so that is why I chose to make the debt collector a woman.
Thank you, and thanks for the question. And we'll open it up for everyone else. Nick has a question for everyone. Do you all see a change coming as it relates to our current state of racism?
Wow. That's not a small question.
Solve it.
Oh, hell to the yeah. A change is coming. That's why we're all hurting. Change hurts. Come on now.
That's why we're
here. My opinion. A change is long overdue. Change is life. This is the year 2020. Use whatever symbolism you want. Change is long overdue. Yes, change is coming. How will it be? I don't know. Does anybody know?
I think we're doing it right now.
That's what
I think we're making it happen.
That's right. We're
One
making
person
it happen.
at a time.
Right. One artist at a time, speaking for the people, saying what can't be said in other mediums. This is where change has always happened in human society.
And this cannot stop.
And
this is not about a mood. This is going to keep happening, and it really has to. And that's where it's going to come. I think theater, the unique conduit of theater that allows people to experience, to feel, to witness something, is we have to keep doing this.
And we have been, as artists of color, showing our face and speaking our truth and letting other people feel free to do the same. We've done it. And if we continue doing it, yes, there will be change. Yes. We just have to do it. And don't ask for permission. Just do it.
I mean, people are getting called out all the time in Chicago. If they have an all-white cast, it's just not okay anymore, which it's not okay. And I've been seeing change in Chicago. I think different states are different. I think, Hawaii is in a different place. LA is in a different place. We have the whole sexism thing that came about, the Not in Our House, I think was 3 years ago. So things started to become safer with fight choreography, and I think racism and sexism, it all needs to get better, and I think we can help each other by all doing it simultaneously. It doesn't need to be like one thing. We all just need to go, no, that's wrong, we're going to change that, and that's wrong too, and we're going to change that, and keep at it and keep calling each other out if it's not okay. And if you're doing something wrong, acknowledge, say, okay, what am I doing wrong? Why did I not realize that it was wrong? Okay, I realize that it's wrong now, and then change.
Accountability. I mean, look at the art form: film, television, streaming material, theater. Artists are all saying there has to be a change. No matter what's happening in government, artists are all sending that message out. That's what we're doing.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing.
And it's not just theater too. I think it's all the disciplines.
All the disciplines.
And the corona, or I would say it wrong, not the corona. Like shelter in place is kind of forcing us to have these new collaborations because of the lack of money and resources. We should have been doing this the whole time.
Yeah.
But we're kind of forced into it now, and it's good. I think it's another way of us helping each other.
Yeah. I think Tanya said it. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Carl.
Not just saying, when you talk about racism, it seems big because it is big, and we're going to mess up, right? And we have to just keep on realizing that as we mess up, we take the licks, and someone says to you, you are being transphobic right now. You don't go home and cry and decide that you're not going to speak to any trans person again. You fix it. You go and you do the research. The research is all over the place. It's on Google. Everybody has access to something, someone, or else you're living under a rock. And there are some people who do live under a rock, right? And this is not a class slur. This is just a slur against people who refuse to do the change. And this is why the change takes so long, and it's so hard, and it's so uncomfortable, because a lot of times we don't like to live in discomfort, especially, a lot of us. And we have to realize our privilege. I walk around the world with this skin that, yes, comes with all sorts of things, but I also walk around the world as a cisgendered male, and that comes with its own set of privileges. And I have to realize that. And then we have to realize where we fit in. Like, I'm an administrator, I'm a teacher, and I'm saying it right now. I don't know if anybody's listening, but if on the syllabus you have the same 4 white men teaching in a play, you have to change that. You have to change that this semester. It cannot happen. It just cannot happen.
This is not
and
a trap.
introducing introducing Lorraine Hansberry is not a pat on the shoulder. Get yourself together. There are other people right now, right? MacArthur Juniors are in their 40s. Like, check out what she's doing and put the thing there. And look for other people. People always say, I don't know where to find things. Lies.
Lies.
They're out there. People have been writing. People of color have been writing forever. And not because not everybody's published. Go find these things, man. Talk to somebody. Tell that one Black friend you have, hey, can you help me? And if they say no, go to the library, go to an online resource, because guess what? They're tired. They're tired of answering all your questions. And why you only have one Black friend? But listen, I have many white friends, many.
Carl, I mean,
get yourself together. Get it together. I'm sorry. This is why it's hard. It's hard.
It's the same thing in the film and television industry. Like yesterday, I had, and I didn't even realize that what this pandemic and what Black Lives Matter and the movement and everything that's been going on actually has left me with triggers, and I didn't even notice it before. So yesterday, I go into a Comic-Con panel, right? And it is directors on directing. There are 4 white men. There are 3 white male directors, and the moderator is a white man. I heard nothing all I could see were there are 4 white men speaking at me about not having to do a pitch deck anymore because they can just go in and talk about the story. And I'm like, well, but I just had to do a 20-page deck that explains why I can tell the story. You don't have to do that, but you're 4 white men. And I couldn't get past, there were 4 white men speaking at me. And I literally 15 minutes in was just like, all right, I'm not gonna, like, I can't. And I completely shut down, had to take a moment, had to have some white rum and wheel and come again, because I was just like, are you kidding me? Like, how do you make a panel now and put just one color on it? I don't understand. How do you put one sex on it? Like, there are so many directors. How?
It's not okay. It's not okay.
No.
I'm going to read some of the chat points that we have in our little circle. We have hire Black professors and professors of color and LGBTQ professors. Hiya! And who said that? Come on, take your credit. Take your credit. Take your credit. Come on. Come on. Come
I
on.
said that. Yes.
Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you. Thank you.
Because you can't just put like, I'm as someone who's like is still a college student. It's just like a lot of these professors. I'm going to be very blunt. They can't teach the work. They can't. You have people at my. You have people.
Where do you study,
today.
darling? Where do you go to school?
I go to Barnard College of Columbia University, and I've noticed that, Entezaki Shange, for example, who is the blueprint of playwright of every, she's just incredible. She was alive, and I don't understand why she was never invited to be a teacher at my school, right? I don't understand why Katori Hall, who is also a Columbia alumni, has not been invited. I don't understand. And there's a long list of people that are alive and well, that are talented, that are incredible. Magali is an alumni of Columbia. Come on. Like, there are lots of groundbreaking people that are alive and well who are not being invited to the table. And then I see professors of all different disciplines who I'm like, why are you teaching me about there are Black theater people, there are LGBTQ, there's people that can come and teach this work. You guys have made it for hundreds of years, this institution on colonized land. You guys have taught all white plays. So maybe, I don't know, maybe we can bring people to teach the theater that we're trying to bring on, teach political theater, because I don't understand how in a white supremacist space, in an institution built on white supremacy, how someone who has been complicit in white supremacy, who has had an all-white syllabus for this long, or have their token, top girls, maybe put an August Wilson play in there, just sprinkle for flavor, how all of a sudden they're going to be able to break down political radical theater. They're not going to. It's going to be disrespectful. It's disrespectful.
It's on us to decolonize theater. Can we agree to that? Can we agree to that?
As a whole, yeah, the educational system as a whole, theater all the way down to textbooks that are writing history, or we're being taught things that are just clearly not true. I was looking at an article that was on CNN about a book, and they had pictures of slaves on the plantation on a cart smiling. They were like, a typical day on the plantation. And it's like, whoa. This is the imagery that you are teaching kids at the age of, 3, 4, and 5 to desensitize them to slavery. Like we were all just happy and on the plantation, this good old day. No, and what you're saying, 100%. Get these Black professors and things, but also the curriculum needs to be gutted. As a matter of fact, burn it, burn it. We have to start over. We cannot continue to build on moldy ground. It's like if you build in a house and you want to revamp it, you don't pick the crappiest soil, to start building a luxury estate. You can't do that. After time, it will erode from the root, so you can get a Black professor in there, but if you're getting pushback from that one, and we've seen this in universities, higher education, where you get these teachers that want to speak truth to power, and then you're suppressed. They're suppressed from the top. We can only teach this curriculum. Like she's saying, we gonna do fences for the Black folks. And it's like, come on, how many playwrights are still living, that are still, thriving, and you don't want to put the money into it, We're going through this with my alma mater. where, you know, they're reaching out to the token Black alum. And it's like, you're just now reaching out to us. You've had Craig Robinson, Suzanne Douglas. You've had so many Black people that have come through this university. And y'all are just now realizing that this is a problem. Why? Because the money. You got Black students that are saying they're gonna pull their money now, right? Which is a whole nother conversation if you're talking about the power of when it comes to Black, when you make the green matter, right? Clearly, white people, white supremacy only really understands shit that's red or green. Red meaning blood, green meaning money. Then all of a sudden, wait a minute, there's a problem. Houston, we have a problem. I digress, y'all, though. Ooh,
I knew this was going to be a hot conversation today. I knew that the spirit was going to be inspired by the playwrights and the directors and the actors to create a conversation that would be riveting for the audience. Carl's smiling over there. Look at Sergey smiling. Look at Donna and Harry smiling. Thank you so much. I'm going to let you do the closure because Sergey, you're the host. I'm a talker.
There's I don't have a closure. Thank you, everyone.
Well, there's a question about
us.
colorblind casting. There's no blind. Listen, if you can see me. If you cast me as Duncan, know that you're casting me as Duncan. Simple. That's it.
Wait,
look at that passion.
There was I saw Hedwig twice.
I love
right?
that. You can see.
I saw Hedwig on Broadway twice. I saw it with the guy from Dexter. Can't remember his name. I'm so sorry. And I saw it with Tay Diggs. Thank you, Michael T. Hall. So I saw it with both of them, and they actually adjusted the piece for Tay Diggs, including changing his yitzig. And I thought that was brilliant because they weren't colorblind. They were, though it was a character that throughout time had been white, they knew they were casting a Black man in this role. Right. His sidekick had to be Black, and they had to have Black references because they couldn't just reference white rock music. And so they were referencing R&B, and they were referencing funk. Wow. And, you know, it was a whole different experience. And so you're right, theater cannot be colorblind.
I think that's the thing too. There's this thing that if I put a Black person in there, then I'm done. And that's it. There's no other, or any person of color, anyone within the LGBTQIA+ community. Once they're in, that's it. There's no sensitivity to what else comes with that skin, with that body on that stage. That needs to be included. That expands the conversation. It's not just representation, but what is the specifics of that representation? And I think that it goes back to curriculums, it goes back to professors who, because they're from a specific community, they assume that that is the only thing they can teach from that community. So me as a Jamaican actress, okay, you can teach me Caribbean history, but I know you can't teach me African history. You may not know the African history, but I do. So yes, I can teach it, right? So there's always their limitations to what that is. And even with casting, I'm going to put this body there, but I'm not going to reference anything else because I've done my job. And so it's upon the actors and directors and all of us people of color are within any of our specific communities that we bring everything else that comes with us to the table and have those discussions and make sure that when we're being included, that we're really being inclusive and we're not just there just to represent this one stick figure with no other features to be seen, heard, or anything else or felt, you know? So it goes beyond just see me. You have to experience me. And you have to be open to living and breathing and be right there with me. The same way I'm watching you, you know?
And that's what makes me so grateful for our relationship with Kumukaua, because I knew nothing about the Polynesian culture. And every time we have a meeting, Harry educates me. Every time there's another play, I'm getting educated. And, I want to know more about the Hawaiian people from their art form. It's created a hunger for it, because every time I've seen a movie in Hawaii, I don't know anything about the Hawaiian people. And so I'm like, give me more. I want to know what's behind the door. And so hopefully this will ignite a hunger in the Hawaiian community to say, hey, filmmaker, put us in there. Don't just come to our islands and just throw us in the background.
There are a lot of filmmakers, a lot of talented actors here. who want to put out stories about Hawaiian history, about Samoan, Tongan, Fijian, Maori. There's a lot of us. There are
We're
a lot.
hungry. I'm hungry.
Yeah.
Is everybody
it's
hungry
just-
here?
Yeah.
Popcorn. Let's do it.
Popcorn. Okay, Carl, someone round it up because we're gonna end. We have to end. Unfortunately, we don't want to, but we have to.
I nominate Carl.
Don't make me sing the song again.
To round
And
it
Carl
up.
and Sergey, since you guys open and close, you guys close.
Well, I'm just grateful, and I just want to say thank you for people saying yes and to this, because some people will challenge this whole thing as not activism, as not important and making a dent, but they know how important art is. Art has always been important. You are doing something important, and you will continue to live here and fight. Like, I'm not gonna go back to my workplace and sit down and listen to the same thing I've been listening to since I've been in the role for 3 years. No. So anybody listening knows that we're coming back to radicalize the system. I have a platform and I teach primarily people of color. And I need for them to make sure that when they come, that they're gonna see something different.
And Conch Shell Production, I'm sorry.
Conch Shell, go Conch Shell, because
No. Conch Shell Productions is giving a voice to all the Caribbean people, all the 28 nations. So reach out to us and learn more about how you can get your voice heard. Kumukaua, Harry, Donna, come on. Inspire more writers, come on.
Yeah, Kumukuhua, we're in our 50th season. We're just getting ready to start of producing theater by and about people here. It is a place where you can go see on stage what is going on outside your window. It's amazing.
That's the kind of theater we're talking about. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you.
Miss you.